Stats on the buffet. From gridiron to the court, we got the say. Football spirals, hoop dreams in the chat. Chopping it up, deep dives on every stat. Texas to Florida, repping border to border. Arkansas to Bama, the vibe getting warmer. SWAC talk, keep the knowledge on deck. See well spinning, wisdom gotta show respect. Facts flying higher than a wide receiver's check. From football to hoops, what y'all expect? Guests roll through, dropping stories untold. Legends from the SWAC, spitting straight gold. Locker room vibe, secrets unfold. CW heavy like a championship hold. The South's got a rhythm, a culture to match. Each stat, each fact, another door latch. SWAC talk connects like a perfect pass catch. From Alabama skies to Florida's grass patch. SWAC talk, keep the energy alive. Wednesday to Sunday, where the legends thrive. Facts and stats sharper than a coach's knife. Ballin' on the mic, that's how we survive. Keep the energy alive. Wednesday to Sunday where the legends thrive. Facts and stats sharper than a coach's knife. Ballin' on the mic, that's how we survive. That's how we survive.
All right, everybody, what is going on? How y'all doing, man? Welcome to today's edition of SWAC Talk. The show will cover the SWAC inside and out. Of course, I am your tour guide around the SWAC. C. Wells coming at you. And today we're just going to take a little hot minute, man, and talk about a tweet that I saw earlier. I think I saw it yesterday, but maybe it was today. I don't know. But I want to take a few seconds and talk about a tweet that I saw and kind of, put my thoughts to the whole thing, and it basically has to do with FCS guys transferring out to Power Four teams, and just one certain school, their reaction to it. And so, like I said, we're gonna get into that in a second. But before we do all of that, man, y'all make sure y'all hit those socials. Facebook is SWAC Talk, Instagram SWAC Talk, Twitter SWAC Talk 76. Don't forget to like the video, comment, and share your thoughts on this topic. And just keep it locked with us, man. We're gonna continue to do what we do. We're gonna continue to bring y'all some good things. And before we go any further, like I said in my previous video, show is brought to you by Wells Painting and Drywall, man. Over 50 years of experience in the Baton Rouge area. If you wanna get some work done on your house, keep things looking fresh, inside or outside, interior, exterior painting, drywall finishing, sheetrock hanging. We also are having a pressure washing special for $4.75. You can get your driveway, back patio, front porch, concrete walkway, any concrete on your house. Wash $4.75 within the Baton Rouge area. For any more information, contact 225-603-4261 or 727-325-7631. And everybody be glad to get with you, man. Free estimates and the whole nine. So y'all make sure y'all keep it locked with us and lock in with Wells Painting and Drywall, man. Is going diggity down. So with that being said, man, we're gonna go ahead and jump into this, and I'm gonna put this up on the screen real quick. This is just a pic from Elon University football. They posted yesterday. They posted it's a win-win situation when paving the way for others brings recognition. Something this group has experienced recently. Their work often goes unappreciated, but we love our big guys up front. Get developed, make an impact. Hashtag position spotlight. Hashtag AED. And as you can see from the photo, it says Phoenix football offensive line. Last 2 years produced two players that earned six-figure P4 deals. Paved the way for all conference selections at running back 3 years in a row. Then it's Jabril Jabril Williams, Kevin Burkett, and Braden Walker. Um, this is, this to me is an interesting tweak because it's basically um, pr- promoting the fact that their guys leave and have gotten P4 offers and P4 commitments and got some NIL money from P4s. And like I said, it's a couple ways that I want to look at this. First off, there's been a lot of rumblings the last year and a half, 2 years or so that FCS and HBCUs in particular are going the way of a JUCO to FBS teams, especially Power Four teams. Um, so you kind of got that mentality that these guys aren't really here for you. They're here. You're renting them until they can find that place to go play at a bigger program and get paid. Um, and so I understand. Elon's a program that's has success in football. Quite often, but I understand. You kind of saying our guys, they move on and they've been able to get better opportunities. But to me, it kind of looks like you're bragging that you lose guys. You know what I'm saying? Like, yes, your guys are leaving, but you're almost promoting the fact that your guys won't stay. And I know that that's the way the poor lives now. Guys leave. Whenever they want. Guys are always looking for a better opportunity. And I guess on one hand, it's cool to say, hey, you come here, you got another door opening up for you. But on the other hand, to me, it just promotes that image that FCS football is nothing but a stepping stone. And hey, it might be true, but I still think that at some point that facade still needs to be there. Like I don't think we need to. This is almost like when a high school promotes that their guys have gotten, that they have 8 guys on they 2024 football team. They got, FBS offers. I don't think as a FCS team that's the route you should be taking. And it looks kind of funny to me. And I know, I don't know how a lot of that side of college football views um, FCS teams being viewed as a portal as a JUCO, but on the SWAC HBCU realm, y'all know how we feel about that. And so it kind of just made me think a little bit like, is this the way? Is this truly the way that college football is going? From now on, we won't really have a lot of accomplishments of our own guys to talk about. We'll be more talking about those guys going and getting better offers and better deals. Um, and just promoting that, hey, come play for us and you can go play over here. I don't that part I don't like. Like, because that to me that's like a high school, man. Like, come to my school, we'll get you in a D1 program. That I don't like that from an FCS program. I just don't. I can be wrong, but I think that looks away. And so I just really wanted to come on really quick and talk about this. I'm not gonna stretch this out too long, but I just, if I ever see a swag school do this, bro, I'm flaming. Like, I don't care if I don't care inside your building. You're telling your coaches and other players that hey, we gonna provide better opportunity for you. Which, like I said, nowadays, it's almost like a stepping stone. But I don't think you need to promote yourself as a stepping stone. I mean, you can have that and still do what you do. Like I said, it's an innocent thing. It's not like some catastrophe or whatever. But I just look at it like, to me it's kind of funny because you're basically saying, come get developed here and we're gonna move you on. Not to the pro level, but we're gonna move you on to the power four level, and then you can go pro from there. When I think if you got guys that are good enough to do what they're doing, they can go pro from there. But I guess this is the way college sports are going, and this is the way it's going, man. I don't really want to be a part of it like that. I mean, obviously, I'm always, rock with my SWAC and HBCU fam. But if this the way things are going and this the way schools are looking at their programs, I think it's kind of, I think it's kind of shisty, man. Honestly, like I don't think that's a good look. Whether whether their intentions are good, or are they just trying to capitalize on something and get other guys in. It's an interesting recruiting tactic. Like I said, it's an interesting recruiting tactic. It's kind of like the movie Good Luck Chuck, where he dated girls, and after he dated them, they get married to somebody else. So it's like the women come to him to date him for a minute, and then they go off and find the one they really want to be with. Is this what Elon is saying? Hey, you come get with us for a year, or maybe two, and then hey, your Prince Charming will be out there for you, to give you the bigger, better deal. Um, I just don't like it. Like I said, it's funny to me. Like I said, it's not like don't like it as in I'm upset, but it's funny to me to see it, right there in my face on X. But I hope I don't see a lot. I hope I don't see a lot more other people doing this. Because I just don't think that's a good look. But more power to Elon. Hey, if you send a running back off to Wake Forest to play football and he get a good deal, hey, promote it. Y'all do what y'all do. Obviously, it's working for y'all. But over here, I think it looks away. But like I said, I just wanted to come in and share that, man. Like I said, I'm not gonna be here long. I'm gonna still try to bring y'all my baseball tournament video tomorrow, and because the tournament starts on Wednesday, so try to drop something for y'all tomorrow. Um, just to have a list of my that. And with that being said, man, I'm out of here. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all Monday, and I will catch y'all on the rebound. Peace.